I know Vivek's kind of newer to the party. He voted for Obama, so he may not know that.
Look at her. She just flat out says I voted for Obama. It is a lie. I mean, look at this woman. Bold-faced, getting up there, loses 4 elections for the Republican Party, pathetically going up, literally just looking the American voters, Republican voters in the eye, and telling them a bold-faced lie.
How was dinner with your family and Ronna McNabb last night?
You know, it was, well, she said she refused to pay the bill because she's not, I'm not going to get another cent from the RNC.
Yeah, I saw that.
Can you believe this?
Say that? Can she say that?
I mean, not legally. I mean, if you think about your duty, it's not your money.
Yeah.
It's not your money, right? And so, I don't know if people, you think people know what we're already
This is the
talking
story
about.
you're talking about right here,
Yeah,
right?
people already know what we're
He's
talking
an
about.
asshole, total asshole.
So people, if they didn't watch the debate the other night or whatever,
I appreciate it,
am
man.
a believer in accountability. Okay, so this woman is appointed chair of the RNC, Republican National Committee, in 2017. Let's just do the math. It's not that complicated. 2018, loss. 2020, loss. 2022, no red wave. 2023, bad trouncing.
I'm loving that he's about to talk about this. If you are a Republican, more than likely your feelings are about to get hurt because he's letting you know that the conservative party are not doing what they're supposed to do in order to get the new voters, in order to keep new voters, in order to back up their promises of the red wave. Oh, we're changing the world, the quiet majority. Like I hear that all the time, the quiet majority. Like we don't make all the noise. We just show up when it's time to vote. Well, where y'all been at? Because y'all been losing like hell. Y'all been losing, okay? Let's get back to it.
So insanity is expecting a different conclusion unless you're going to make a change. This is the person who's running the Republican National Committee. So that had happened the night before the debate, the 2023 trouncing. So I went on stage and said, when nobody else, every other candidate's supposed to delicately tiptoe around the genteel norms of the RNC. And it's not like I surprised her with this, okay? We actually, I haven't talked about this before. So we had a debate walkthrough. You kind of go through in the morning of. I'm not making this up. It's like, I wish there was no cameras allowed in there. We can catch this. She comes in, she's just like trying to give me a hug. I'm like, I'll give you a handshake. And I was just like, how are you doing? And she's like, how are you doing? I was like, not great. I mean, the election didn't go very well last night. She's not great given last night. And I'm not even kidding you. Here's what she says. What happened last night?
Oh my God.
No, I'm not kidding.
Wow.
So I thought she was joking. So I'm just like, yeah. She's like, no, but seriously, what happened last night? And then she got kind of combative about it.
Who's around when this has happened?
Oh, like people from NBC, other like staffers from the Republican
She came
Party.
to want to give you a hug. You said, I'll give you a handshake.
Yeah. So I'll give you a handshake.
Have you guys had any feud prior to this or no?
No, but I believe in, well, we have, not multiple actually. Because it's not personal. It's the failure of how she leads this party. I mean, number one, at the start of this race, I said, release the debate stage criteria so you don't play games later. I believe that played a role. And she was just like, no, but they actually released it earlier than they did last time around because I believe I called on them to. So they released it at least earlier. So I gave credit where credit was due when they at least responded. First, she was like, no, we're not going to do it. We're staying radio silent. But I believe I had an impact on that, and I gave credit where credit was due. So that loop was closed. Then Fox calls me after the second debate and Chris Christie and say, hey, would you spar with Chris Christie or have a dialogue, open dialogue, since the second debate, I mean, the unspoken reality is that was useless. So I said I would do it. The night before, Ronna McDaniel calls me on my cell phone and says, you will be disqualified from the next debate if you participate in this discussion with Chris Christie. I said, Ronna, how does this advance the interests of the GOP? Like the GOP voter base. How is the GOP voter base better off if we hear less debate between the candidates? Explain that to me. She has no good explanation, but regardless, that raised some of my recent sparring with her in public. But this has nothing to do with me and her. What happened on the night before the debate was the Republican Party nationally got trounced. And everybody, if
destroyed. Kentucky.
Totally destroyed.
Everybody.
Virginia, I mean, kind of Ohio, you just go, these are red states, okay? Oh, Kentucky and Ohio, certainly. And so I'm walking in. This is the morning after that trouncing. This is the chairwoman of the Republican National Committee. She's coming. She's like, hey, how are you? I'm like, I'll give you a handshake. She's like, how you doing? I said, not that well, given that last night didn't go very well. She says, what happened last night?
Like oblivious.
Is she saying it jokingly?
No, she's saying it almost angrily, right? Because I was like, the last night didn't go well. So she's challenging me. She says, well, what happened last night?
Oh, okay.
Like, what happened last night?
Oh, she was trying to get him. She was trying to get him to be more clear about the negativity that he's putting on her right now. He said, "I'm not good considering what happened last night," and he was thinking that maybe she would be like right there with him, lockstep with him. Like, oh yeah, we was hoping for it to go this way, but clearly it went that way, and I'm not happy about it either. Here's the thing. That's when we miss opportunities for great conversation and understanding because we're so defensive. She was too defensive at that point, and she wouldn't talk to him. Actually, he was challenging her too. So he was a little stubborn as well. She tried to walk up to him and give him a hug, and he was like, "No, I'll give you a handshake. I'll give you a handshake." That right there, that's the type of stuff I'm talking about, bro. Like, that's not okay. 45 years old, right? I'm done with the BS. All right, I'm done with the BS. Clearly, Vivek is not. Somebody come and try to show you some love, regardless if it's fake or not. Listen, we are colleagues. We're trying to get the same job and all this other stuff. Regardless, maybe, you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, treat people like people. Period. You don't know what they're going through at all. You don't know what they was dealing with coming there. You don't know what they were dealing with at home. But these Hunger Games that they're playing are more important to them than humanity. That to me is not a good thing. It's not. If y'all can listen to him talking right now and say, yeah, he did the right thing. He shouldn't have given her a hug. He should have treated her like that. He should have said that. He probably should have. Maybe. But let's get back to humanity here. All right? I get it, y'all are on different teams, but this ain't Michael Jordan playing against Clyde the Glide Drexler back in the day. You ain't gotta be so stern and rah, rah, rah. You know what I mean? Sometimes treat people like human beings. You'll get a lot more out of it if you do. You really would. You really would. That's just my 2 pennies, but I could be off. I would love to see what y'all have to say about this.
I don't know what happened last night. Tell me what happened last night. Yeah. And I'm just like, this is the person who's accountable for running the Republican Party. I said, we lost the election. She said, we have nothing to do with that.
Really?
I run the National Party. These are state races. We have nothing to do with that. So where's and then says and then starts to like escalate her voice and says, I refuse to fall on the sword for this one. I refuse to fall on the sword for this one. This is not my fault. And it's like, okay, clearly she's been criticized.
How many
all
minutes
day for
before
this.
you hit the stage is this happening?
Oh, this is like early. This is in the morning, right?
Okay,
like
it's
around
pre-game
lunchtime.
prep. Yeah,
you kind of go through. They show you where you're going to be standing. Here's your microphone. So that's where this happens. So it's not like I surprised her on the stage.
Got it.
All right, she knew where I'm at on this.
She had already had a long morning with this topic.
Oh, of course, and should. I mean, 2018 loss, 2020 loss, 2022 no red wave, 2023 trouncing, total drubbing for the Republican Party. This is the individual who's the national chairwoman. She runs the entire Republican National Committee.
Please tell me in the comments, guys, why do you think the Republicans continue to lose the way that they are? And be brutally honest. What does that mean? Okay, can somebody break that down? TDS, she said Trump deranged syndrome. Does that mean that people are not voting unless they are voting for Trump? Vivek is Hindu. Why are you talking about him being Hindu?
Where's the accountability? So I get on stage and you're getting some standard, beaten dead old horse Donald Trump question. I said, forget that. Let's talk about what happened last night. Because the last 2 elections he's been out, Republicans have gotten trounced for different reasons. So stop blaming the boogeyman. There's an accountability problem within the Republican Party. And so I say on stage that Ronna McDaniel, if she wanted to come up on stage, and I meant it, if she did want to come up on stage, debate stage time is valuable, but I would still yield my time to her.
Okay. I see why he didn't hug her. My bad. That was wrong. That was wrong. That was wrong. My bad. I take that one. But hey, listen, hold on. Does this look, listen, I'm not trying to be mean. Matter of fact, let me move on, man. Let me just move on. Let me just move on.
If she wants to use the microphone, look the American people in the eye and say she resigns, which would be good for the Republican Party, and I believe she should resign. So what does she say? So then the press reports there's people apparently sitting in her row or behind her row or in front of her where she is, think about this, the neutral arbiter of the Republican National Committee later in the debate when I'm sparring with other candidates, booing when I'm speaking, clapping against other candidates when they're speaking against me. So
She was booing?
yeah,
Who was booing?
she's booing me at other points in the debate. And I don't care about that, but think about your dereliction of duty. You're supposedly the neutral arbiter of the entire National Republican Party hosting a debate. It's like a referee cheering in the middle of a game between two teams. It doesn't make sense. Like if the referee is like booing or hollering in favor of one team or the other, that's what that looks like if she's the arbiter. Then she's saying during the breaks, and this is as reported by the press, so I wasn't there, but it's apparently sources who are around her, reported by multiple sources in the press, saying that I would not get another cent from the RNC.
Yep.
Wow.
So think about what that means. That means she believes that's her money.
She does. She does. If you're not willing to play ball, you won't get another cent from the RNC. Anybody that speaks that way, yeah, they've already taken ownership of the finances and resources that flow through them. They think that they are the boss applesauce. Like, I'm the king ding-a-ling. This all me. This all me. And if you want any of this money, you better treat me with some respect. Next time I want a hug, you give me a hug. Next time I want to grind on your leg when I hug, you let me grind on your leg. If I want to whisper sweet nothings in your ear and tell you how good your ears smell, then you let me do it. Or else you ain't getting none of this money.
Right? These are donations she's collected from other people, but somebody said a mean thing about her, and it's not even a mean thing about her. Someone said that we need accountability in the Republican Party, that this person who has failed us 4 times in a row, that there needs to be some accountability. She says, if he says that about me, then this money that I have been a steward for, a fiduciary for, that I'm not going to give a cent to him because he said something that I didn't like about me.
He said something that hurt my feelings, so he's not going to get any more money. That's crazy, man.
That's a conflict of interest. So then I get a question after the debate in the press room. I don't know who it came from, but I'm presuming it's from one of the RNC aligned people, which is, how come you would go on Rana's stage, on her stage is what they said, on her stage and criticize her like that? My response is, that's not her stage. And
That ain't her daggone stage. Are you kidding me? See, that's why she's believing the hype. That's why she's drinking her own little stale, nasty, gravy-tasting Kool-Aid, her whole onion Kool-Aid, because she believing the taste is so delicious because everybody else is doing it. How can you disrespect her on her stage? This ain't her damn stage. Huh? What?
that's the problem with this party. It doesn't belong to these corrupt establishment political creatures. It belongs to the voters and the people of this country, and that's where the Republican Party is badly mixed up.
Question for you. When
So no, dinner didn't go well.
But I assume you know her last name, her maiden name.
Romney.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think she embodies it.
let me ask a question.
I mean, she comes from a powerful family. So you should expect for her to think that way. That's how people are, man. That's why you need God in your life. That's why you need God in your life, man. So you won't think too big of yourself. Understand that you're nothing but a peon in comparison to God. Like, you are literally an ant. We are literally so super small, far smaller than we believe we are. We are less important than we actually believe we are. It's crazy. That's why, to me, it's so important that we start communicating together, because together we are far stronger. Together we are important, because that's why we're here. We're here to build each other up and make something good out of society, out of this community, and make sure that we continue to move humanity forward. Unfortunately, though, there's a side of the country who don't care about moving the country, moving humanity forward. They want to stop people from having children. They want you to think that you will have a better life if you were with someone of the same sex, and that's probably the best way to be. And it's not. They're trying to family, and anybody who does that, no, you vote opposite of anybody that's always out there trying to keep a nuclear family. get rid of that. Also, vote against people who think that they are so like that they are king dingling, like they run everything. They run everything. You know, that's actually what people thought about Trump. But what they didn't see was that he was showing strength, but he was also moving millions of people. He was actually speaking for the multitude of individuals who weren't being heard, the multitude of individuals who believed in the nuclear family. And right now, there's a bunch of people out there who don't give a damn. It's all about being selfish and doing for self and being as wealthy as you can get. I'm powerful. I'm Mitt Romney's niece. I run this. What you mean? You're not gonna get a penny of my money again. This ain't your money. I dare you talk about her like that on her stage. This ain't her stage.
When she says you can't, go debate Christie, then how is she okay with DeSantis debating Newsom?
Because it's corruption, man.
You think that's what it is?
Absolutely, it's corrupt. Because the people who are propping up Ron DeSantis, like the super PAC money, all of that's doing up. And it's not criticizing Ron or not. It has nothing to do with it. It's just the system is. There's tens and tens of millions of dollars in a system where supposedly the max you can give to a campaign is $3,300. The people who have lobbied and gotten their special favors from, and it's not just Ron, it's the way politics works, that those people are the big donors to the Republican Party. And Ron is debating another candidate who's running for U.S. president, that is called Gavin Newsom, and the man who's running for U.S. president, flying around doing. The funny thing about this is Gavin Newsom is not running for U.S. president in the same way that Ron DeSantis was not running for U.S. president, jaunting around on public money and private jets on matters that have nothing to do with the state. That's what Gavin Newsom is doing now. And as I said on the debate stage as well, to the Democratic Party, I call it Republicans, Democrats evenly. I call it Democrats more. Be honest, Joe Biden's not going to be the nominee. So who's it going to be? Put up whichever other person it's going to be so we can have an honest debate.
Joe Biden, will he even be like, here's the thing. I want everybody to do well. I even want Joe to do well. I know some of you probably don't want him to do well. I do want him to do well. He's the president. Why wouldn't I want him to do well? Like anybody who is the head honcho, the one that's calling the shots and making the decisions, I want them to do well because it reflects on us. But when he's not making his decisions properly and he has other people doing it for him, bruh, we all see what's happening. This world is going to hell in a handbasket, like with gasoline draws. Hey, shout out to EFO. Yeah, I gotta show you love, big dog. Again, keep on coming through with the super chats. You are the man. Much love to you. Happy Veterans Day. We need a whole month for our veterans and flags for Veterans Day.
But Ron is able to have that
Thank you,
full-on debate on the same network, Fox. But if they're calling me, I think what happened is at a certain point in the race, around late summer, initially they're saying, oh, yeah, young guy, okay, check the box. We got, a lot of boxes he checks for us. We get to say that this guy ran in the Republican Party, young guy, different generation, first generation, whatever. Okay, we check that box. Oh, wait, he's not going away when he's supposed to, right? The other no-name candidates, and I was initially a no-name candidate too, the other no-name candidates had no chance of making the first debate. They're all off. Nobody really paid attention to them. Wait, this guy's sticking around. And then, wait, he's saying some things that the establishment that has an allergic reaction to Trump, wait, he sounds a little bit like that. No, this isn't supposed to happen again. No, stop it. Okay, it was cute while it lasted. Like, make it stop. That's sort of where they were. And so I think there has been a concerted effort amongst the donor establishment class that has convened private summits with the Haley campaign, the DeSantis, the Scott campaigns, Pence and others, Christie. I'm the only person other than Trump that's not, invited to these closed door forums. There's certain debates we want Ron DeSantis to get his airtime. You do it, we're going to disqualify you from the next debate. And then you get to the place where now, if you're critical of that party, she says, we're not going to use that because she doesn't like what I said, it's a personal conflict of interest, is going to say you don't get another cent from the RNC. So in a certain sense, they prove my point about the corruption to say that they view this as their money, to treat it in a way that they're going to pick whoever their favorite horses are.
Yeah, that's very strange because the voter, I'm sitting there saying, and I even asked the governor, I said, why are you debating Newsom? I think a year ago made sense. I think right now makes no sense for the two of you guys to debate. But Rob, do you have the clip of Ronna McDaniel being confronted about what Vivek said and what her response is, and she said, "I'm not the one running for president." Play this clip if you could.
There were allegations that were thrown on the stage by one of the candidates in particular, arguing that the Republican Party has a culture of losing. Specifically, Vivek Ramaswamy called for you to resign. Would you like to respond to that?
I'm going to focus on beating Joe Biden. I wish that's what all the candidates did. I'm not running for president. I'm very proud of the fact that under my tenure, we won back the House. We now are getting investigations into the Bidens. I also, as Michigan chair for the first time in 30 years, won a state that Democrats hadn't been in. I'm very proud of the fact that we're going to have staff in 15 states heading into 2024. But, I'll leave other people to attack Republicans. I'm going to focus on Democrats. I will say this. We can't attack each other and win. We need all of us.
So actually,
if
I have a comment
You can
on
pause it at this
I have
point.
a comment
Go
on that,
for it.
which was really funny. I hadn't seen this interview. I saw a different interview she did on Fox or Fox Business.
I mean, okay. I have a question for you because listen, when you have a job and someone wants to speak about the negative parts of your job, then you do want to defend yourself and speak about the positive parts of your job. And that seems to be what she was trying to do in that clip. Where was she wrong in that clip? Because to me, and I was going to make fun of her and all that other stuff, but what's the point? I'm trying to be positive here, and hopefully you guys can too. But I've already had fun doing that part. But it seems to me, and whether she was BSing or not, that she was right. She said, we're not going to win anything by fighting amongst one another. All right? We're not going to win anything. Will she acknowledge the negative parts of her leadership in her position? No, she did not acknowledge that. She won't acknowledge that. That's something that I don't like about any politician or in a position, because she's definitely that. People don't acknowledge their faults, and they only want to acknowledge what happened positively. We took back the House while I was the chair, but you lost a many amount of races, and you need to address that. Like, oh, we're not going to win if we keep fighting each other. Well, are you saying that that's why that's why conservatives have been losing so much, because you guys have been fighting so much? Is that what she's saying? At the end of the day, man, I just want to have some understanding of this, because right now, you all conservatives, I'm talking to you specifically, you will continue to lose if you continue to play the game the way you're playing it right now. At some point, the coach need to call the time out. Just change the play. Change the play, call an audible or something. Replace the quarterback. Replace the I don't know what game we playing. Replace the quarterback. Replace the point guard. We're talking about basketball. Replace the pitcher. We're talking about baseball. Here's the thing, man. We can, like he said earlier. What he say? Insanity is doing the same thing twice and expecting different results. Like, that's just crazy, man. So if we keep on losing like that, then and nothing is changing, then yeah, she should be held responsible, because she's doing a sugar honey iced tea job, in my opinion.
Where literally, that was yesterday morning, she's going on air, national conservative audience, and literally just stated as a fact that Vivek voted for Obama.
Oh yeah, that's right.
100%. I just confirm it for you. 100% false. Never voted for Obama in my life.
Practice.
So you have the chair of the RNC saying, "I'm not going to criticize the Republicans," and then go on national TV, say one of the Republican presidential candidates who you were booing in the middle of the debate. Oh, you have that one?
It's 11 seconds. You can play the clip.
Oh, you guys
I
are on top
texted
of this,
it to
man.
you.
You guys already, yeah.
I'm looking footage of
Maybe
her
I saw it
booing.
after you actually. So that was press reports of people who were sitting in her row commenting on the fact that she said that there's going to be not 1 cent to me from the RNC, fiduciary violation.
This money thing situation, this not
it's-
1 cent, how does it actually get divvied up? Because you're the only candidate out there that has made their money as an entrepreneur. So you don't need their
To tell you
money.
the truth, I have no idea how the hell all of this sausage making works, because I've basically said screw the system. Now, what does that cost me? 8-figure sums of my wealth that we're putting into this campaign. 15, 16 plus million bucks already. We're putting in millions more. It's going to be tens of millions of dollars, certainly by the time we're done.
Wow. Did y'all hear that? This dude has spent $15-16 million on his campaign already. Nuts. That is nuts, bruh. That's a lot of daggone money. Oh my gracious, I haven't even made $1 million yet. And he's spending 15, 16 to become the president. That's how you know it's an investment. He wouldn't spend that type of money if he didn't look at it as an investment. He look at this as an investment. He does. He wouldn't spend this type of money if he didn't look at it as an investment. Trump spent $35 million this cycle alone. My gracious. Norm says based. What the hell does that mean? I'm for Trump. At least his role is the most beneficial for us in this movie. Hey, LFR, how much you think Trump has spent in legal fees? OMG, sheesh. I would only assume they're trying to drain his pockets, man. They're trying to drain his pockets so he not be able to run for president. Every single thing that they're doing right now is so that he not run for president. Yes, but Van, look at your channel growth. You are a success here. Much love to you, dog lover. And you are a success there. And we are a success together. All right? Speaking of, guys, reach out to me. Email me the word coach so that I can help y'all grow a YouTube channel or podcast or something, man. All right? All right? Only thing I charge is $1 million. That's it. And I know y'all got $1 million. Y'all got millions easy.
We're going to stop at nothing. But that's the cost of saying screw you to a corrupt system that otherwise wants you to behave like their circus monkey, which I refuse to. But the point is, this is a person who's running the RNC, managing other people's money, and saying that because you said something I don't like, I'm not going to give you 1 cent, then goes on national TV and spews. I mean, it's just a straight up factual falsehood, right? Vivek voted for Obama. Is it false? Yes, it is. Is it damaging? Yes, it is. Is it done with malicious intent for the person who was booing at me and saying those things? Yes, it was. Now, am I going to go after because I have better things to do in my life? Probably not, right? But this is corrupt stuff.
Well, in the first debate,
play this real quick because it's 11 seconds. Go ahead, Rob.
I know Vivek's kind of newer to the party. He voted for Obama, so he may not know that.
Look at her. She just flat out says I voted for Obama. It is a lie. I mean, look at this woman. Yeah. Bold-faced, getting up there, loses 4 elections for the Republican Party, pathetically going up, literally just looking the American voters, Republican voters in the eye, and telling them a bold-faced lie. I mean, you just play that. I just want people to hit a clip again because I don't want that I'm putting words in her mouth.
I know Vivek's kind of newer to the party. He voted for Obama, so he may not know that.
I mean, this is a lie. This woman with an iota of basis.
Is there a way to prove that so she loses?
Yeah, actually, there's a way to prove.
Okay.
Yeah, his voting record.
The fact that the voting record.
It's not. Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to care. Like the fact that she went up on the news and she said Vivek is new to this and he voted for Obama and blah blah blah. I voted for Obama. I voted for Biden. I sure did. Kick myself in the dingling every single day about it. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It is what it is, man. I used to be at work going back and forth debating people about that, man. What do you mean Trump is the best thing for the presidency? People don't even like Trump. They don't like Trump. I'm with her. I was not with her. I did not like Hillary Clinton, man. I promise you I didn't. But for some strange reason, let me tell y'all something. As an old liberal, whatever they were sharing on MSNBC and CNN, it worked. It worked for me, bro. It had me pissed off at Trump for no damn reason. It did, man. I was like, let's watch Morning Joe. Listen, I was like, let's watch Morning Joe with his wife. And, they used to argue back and forth. But I was like, man, for whatever they're saying to me, it got me angry for some reason. It had me angry with Trump. He ain't do nothing. Okay, I'm sorry, guys.
So actually, I was so disillusioned, and I've talked about this. I voted Libertarian when I was young in my first election. Then I got so disillusioned from politics that it's actually public record that in both of those elections, I don't like John McCain, and I didn't like Barack Obama, and I didn't like Mitt Romney, and I didn't like Barack Obama.
Listen, thank you so much for the super chat, Nate. I appreciate you. Now we got to earn our stripes again, big dog. I made some decisions on this channel that was not the best decisions for my community, and I lost some ranking, and now we're trying to get our ranking back. It's a fight. It's definitely a fight, but at the end of the day, I ain't no punk. I'm up for the fight. I box. I'll go with you. Like, I go toe to toe with you. Probably get my ass whooped, but it's all good. Probably not healed as fast as I used to because I'm so old. But at the end of the day, you're right, and I'm glad you pointed that out. And thank you so much for the super chat, Van. What did you like about Biden that you didn't about Clinton? That he ran with Obama. That's it. That he ran with Obama. I didn't care about the fact that he had a lot to do with locking people up, a whole bunch of people when it came to drugs and whatnot. I didn't care about none of that. What I cared most about was the negativity that was being spread to me about Trump and the conservative party. I didn't receive any of the truths that Thomas Sowell talked about. As a matter of fact, we used to celebrate Black History Month every single, like, go hard. And I'm sure your name is the real Black Terry. So you understand, growing up in public schools, Black History Month is serious. And I never heard anything about Thomas Sowell. Ever. Have you? Real Black Terry, if you went to a public school, please let me know right now if you heard about Thomas Sowell in school. Were you taught about Thomas Sowell? Matter of fact, any Black people inside of this chat right now, please let me know. Did your school teach you about Thomas Sowell at all? Because at the end of the day, it was the information that I had access to and what I had a desire to learn. And when I was voting age, all I was hearing was that Democrats was the right side. And that's it. And plus, I came from a Democratic state, D.C., Maryland. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking that this must be the right way. We must got to vote blue. As a matter of fact, I went and registered as a Republican like over 12 years ago, 10 years ago. I registered as a Republican as a way of being like a Trojan horse for the Republicans. Like, I was going to sneak in and vote Democrat. I don't know, man. My mind I'm slow. I'm kind of slow. I'm trying to catch up right now. I'm trying to tell y'all right now, but I thought that it was going to work. I thought that I was going to be doing some justice for the Democratic Party by being a Republican, a registered Republican. And then when it's time to get in the booth, I vote blue. And I'm thinking I'm really doing something. And the whole time I wasn't paying attention. I really wasn't following the money. I wasn't following these guys' legislation that they voted for or any of that. If I would have checked out the history of what Biden voted for, of what he stood for, man, I would have looked at him like he was just walking around with a daggone white sheet on. But he's just not a good person, in my opinion. I just don't think so. Now I don't think so, but I didn't know that at first because I didn't think that Barack Obama would be not only befriend, but would run hand in hand with somebody like Biden. But then I also didn't know the truth about Obama. I read his books, everything. I was believing all of the fairy tale stuff that was being told to me about Obama. So I didn't want to look at the negative. It's like having the uncle in the family who's rumored to have touched some of your cousins, but it's like whenever it's time to talk about it, none of his sisters, who are all your aunts, your grandmother, don't want to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody, because they want to protect uncle. Well, that's what happened when it came to Obama. Nobody wanted to hear anything negative about him whatsoever. As a matter of fact, we had $1 with Barack Obama's face on it. We went out and bought a newspaper the day that he was voted into office. We were serious about this Democrat stuff, but not serious enough to look behind the curtains and see what else was going on, because that's what we were being trained to do. So that's why I voted for Biden. And I didn't think that Biden was any better than Hillary. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why I didn't like Hillary is because when she was running against Obama, she was just very mean and snarky to him. And I was like, why is this white lady so mean to this black man? Oh, she mean because she hating that he got a black family with a black dog and a black grandmother. I mean, a black mother-in-law that's going to be living in the daggone White House and blah, blah, blah. Yo, I was so damn slow and off and everything when it came to this, man. So that's why somebody said I'm based. No, I'm not based. I don't even know what based is. at the end of the day. But I will tell you this, based off of what I've learned, I'm just going to be honest from here on out. I'm not a Trump super fan. I'm not a Vivek super fan, but I will call a spade based off of the people that we have available to vote into office. I think Trump would be the best. That's just me. That's just me. And that's going off of his record. It's not even going off of him. It's not going off of the person he is. It's not going off of the amount of people that he done looked out for, gave jobs to. Because as soon as you start talking about how Trump is a good person, then it will go back to that. Somebody will give you a story of when Trump was sued for being discriminatory against, for discriminating against black people in his hotels back in the 80s or something like that. But then you're like, ain't that the time when he was friends with Al Sharpton? Ain't that the time when Trump was friends with Jesse Jackson? Ain't that the time when Trump was friends with everybody that was a rapper coming up? Ain't that the time? Ain't that the time? The same time where they try to act as if he was the most racist in his life. That was the time when he had the most black friends ever. But as soon as he decides to run Republican, then that should tell you right there, no. Black people, remember, we taught y'all Republicans are bad. It's not Orange Man bad. It's Republicans are bad. It's the elephant is bad. You know, the donkey good, elephant bad. And if he's running as an elephant, he must black people.
So I actually didn't vote in those elections. I sat him out. I'm not particularly proud of that. I was in my 20s. I understand why many people are disillusioned from politics. I was disillusioned back then too. I voted for the Libertarian candidate back in 2004, and then I basically said, "Screw this. I have better things to do with my life. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I could care less about politics." Yeah. But then came back around to it later. But literally, that is now public record, actual false lie.
Yep.
Flat, bold-faced lie to the American people, say they won't give money. And so that proves the corruption. So that's the Ronnie McDaniel corruption. But then I decided when I was on stage, okay, I'm wasting too much time on this stuffed suit of a bureaucrat.
Hey, David said, I'm sick of politics. David, I'm sick of politics too, bro. I'm sick of politics too, but this ain't politics. What you hear on this channel is us. Okay, are they discussing politics? Yes, but the way that we approach it, we're approaching it from a common sense way of discussing the whole of it all. Like, that's what we're talking about. This is how the conversations should go, because we're trying to understand the nook and crannies of it all. You know what I mean? We want both sides. Like, if I had the perfect channel, listen to me, guys. I really want y'all to understand this part. The perfect channel for me would be half liberals and half conservatives being able to talk some real sugar honey iced tea and make some real change. Right now, we are so against one another, and the liberals are just, excuse my French, that's not a French word, and it's not a curse word, but I had to say that, because right now they are just accepting of anything, even if it ruins this country, and that makes absolutely no sense. It almost feels like they want us. It almost feel like they want us to be broke. It almost feel like they want this country to have a restart or something like that. Like, they are just so ready to be done with what we're doing right now and just have a restart. Jesus, come now, is all, and let's have a restart. That's how I'm feeling about the left right now. That's what I'm hearing about the left right now. Like, they will tell you that they love the people and we're for the people and this, that, and the other, but then they only make a lot of noise when a police, a black man. They make no noise when a black man, which happens every single day at mass.
Running the RNC, let's focus on the real problem, which is the equivalent, the Ronnie McDaniel of media. There's many of them. Kristen Welker, sitting right there from NBC News. And there's a connection between the two, because who decides to put up the Kristen Welkers of the world to moderate a Republican debate? It's none other than the RNC, the failed establishment that Ronnie McDaniel has run, that's lost its last 4 major cycles relative to what it was supposed to do. So it's almost proof sitting on that stage.
Vivek, back to the money question. I don't know if people saw the
rest of that. So that's why, I mean, it is almost, they're repeatedly proving my point based on the kind of debate they were hosting and the moderators they hired, to the things she's saying in the audience during the debate, to booing me during the debate, to now saying that false things on national television.
Who do you think would be a good RNC? Who would be a good RNC?
It's a good question. Yeah. So so let's you want to brainstorm this.
Kirk said you would be somebody like you would be very good.
So Kirk said, Look, I'm in this to be the president of the United States.
Right.
And I think that I can lead the country best from that position. But Charlie said that about me.
Yeah.
Well, I'll return the compliment to him. I think he could actually do a good job of it. I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's crazy, actually. I mean, he's from a different generation.
They would not let him do it.
I mean, that's almost a credential. So whoever they shouldn't let do it, that should be a requirement for whoever does do it to actually get put in that place. I mean, Harmeet Dillon, very good. She ran against Ronna McDaniel. She's competent. She's a lawyer. She understands, and I think the lawyer thing helps because there's an element to running the elections in a way that's competitive, that you make sure it's actually run fairly for the Republicans to be able to compete. So Harmeet Dillon has a good background. There's this guy, Scott Pressler, who's, I don't know if he's a Republican activist. He's nowhere on the radar of the Republican National Committee, but he's a guy I've gotten to know, talked to him from time to time, tried to be very helpful in some of the other elections that have played out in the last couple of years, but a grassroots act.
He looked like he used to sing for Lincoln Park or something. Like, that's what he looked like he's singing for. He looked like he's singing for Lincoln Park.
That has actually focused on the way elections are run. So Scott Pressler, Harmeet
R.I.P. Chester
Dillon. I mean, these are all good people. I mean, I assume Charlie wasn't serious when he suggested me, but I would say in the similar spirit.
I saw somewhere him saying, by the way, did you have? There's a video of you talking to somebody. Were you talking to her or no? At the end of the debate, that's somebody else.
To my knowledge, I haven't talked to Ronna since after the debate. There's a lot of people piling in. So if she was in that throng screaming something senselessly.
All right, so guys, that conversation right there, obviously I said a lot more than I wanted to, and I probably pissed some people off while doing my little spiel. But at the end of the day, you're grown. And if your feelings got hurt, that's your business, all right? Just know that I don't do anything if it's not in good intent.